then we saw Warren Sapp talking to BJ Green and his impression of BJ Green, which was lights out. He said he was very impressed with him and his motor and such. So, and then we'll highlight the linebackers. But first off, BJ Green, man, he's really been impressive. We talked about him a little bit last week, but then now Warren Sapp comes out and talk about his first impression of him. And I'm not sure if you heard what he said, but he's posted it. It's been posted on Well Off Media's page, and he just talked about his get off and how well he does that and how he can work inside and outside. The same thing we highlighted last week. Any other updates on BJ Green, and how have you seen him kind of like emerging as that guy on the defensive line?
I got a real simple one for you, man, that I heard just today from Coach Prime's mouth to Green's ears. And that's simply this: dog, you're a pro. You are a pro. And you got as a guy who is a pro that I believe in, you got to lead, and you got to lead from the front. Sometimes you'll see Green in an effort to work harder. He may not necessarily work with his position group because he's so much faster than him. He'll go over with the skill of the combos, but he's middle of the pack or behind in that group. And so Coach Prime said, no, dog, lead your group or find a way to lead that one. You can't be in a rut where you're the last or something, even though you're stepping up a weight class, so to speak. If you're going to go over there, you got to push yourself and beat them too. But man, his work ethic, his drive, his get off, his intellect toward the game certainly is going to make an impact on this team and has that propensity to play on Sundays. I tell you this, Chico, he came to me and he said, look, I want you to pick the offensive line. He's talking to me, Uncle Needle now, 50-year-old me. He said, you get behind the line, you pick them. He said, I bet you I can get to you 10 out of 10. I said, man, ain't no way. I said, first of all, I'm going to be in shotgun, and I'm already for the ball snap, and I'm throwing it as much as I can.
Yeah.
I get to pick which side you come from. He said, man, I don't care what you pick. I'm gonna get to you. So you may be seeing that drill soon on the pregame show.
Hey, man, I love to see that. Even if you don't share it publicly, shoot it to your boy. I'll definitely love to watch that. But that's BJ Green coming up to you saying that. That's confidence. He's like, man, you picked the lineman.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, he's very Now, one thing I love about, and I know we're gonna get into it in some future episodes. One thing I love about what Coach Sapp is doing with his defensive line, and Coach D. Lewis, as well as Coach Dancy and Coach Phil Lodeholt doing over the offensive line. These guys are making each other better, man. When Coach Sapp is giving a guy a tip on how to beat a lineman and it works, you got to understand that lineman is learning from that as well. So every day, iron is sharpening iron, and these guys are going up against some of the best coaching as well as players that they will see in conference play all year long. So the trenches are going to be much improved, man.
All right, here we go. We're going to finalize this and conclude this on the trenches, but we're going to go with the linebackers rather than just the defensive line. The linebackers were headed up last year by Levante Bentley and Trevor Woods. They're still there as seniors, but we brought in a slew of other linebackers that can really play with the additions of you still have Jeremiah Brown there at linebacker, but then you bring in a guy like Chainsaw Chaney from FAMU, Nikhil Green from Charlotte. You bring in the young Garcia. You got Jaden Wester from South Florida or Florida Atlantic. You got some guys who can really, really, really play at linebacker now, and some guys who put up some numbers last year where they were playing. And I like a young freshman, Trent Hood, also. We'll talk about him later on. But what are you seeing from the linebackers, at least just in the workouts and stuff? Because if you ask anybody who played football, they'll say, where are the most athletic players on the field? And you're going to have a lot of arguments, but a lot of people will say linebackers.
Yeah, I think that's spot on because it's a hybrid. A linebacker is a safety. He's got the intellect of a corner. He's got the strength of a D end, just doesn't have the size of a D lineman. So they're kind of hybrid of all the positions, and they're the extension of the coach out there on the field. It's going to be that middle linebacker, that safety, that's really viewing everything and getting everybody in the right places. One thing I love about Coach Hart's linebacker room, coming from, say, this time last year, or as we walked off the field, the last game, the depth. You got new bodies in
Mm.
there. You got the skill and talent, and they're pushing each other. I believe coming off the spring now, that it's still a Jeremiah Brown, a JB's group, because I think what he did in that spring game and what he was able to do
JB.
in the spring season, say, okay, you know, all due respect to Bentley, all due respect to Trevor, I'm here. You inject some new blood now, and they're not conceding anything. So I'm looking forward to the challenges that's going to come when we get to fall ball August camp. Because some of those names you mentioned, Makai Green, I mean, they're in the hood. They're not conceding anything. They want to play too. And so who's going to know the playbook? Who's going to know the alignment, assignment technique to best? Who's going to be in condition to stay out on the field more than anybody else? But the upside, Chico, what you didn't have last year is depth. Now you're going to be able to rotate some fresh bodies in and out. I think you're going to get more playing time from a diverse group because you got that kind of skill, talent, and ability that you didn't have last year.
Yes, and I think that'll benefit the whole team having those guys who can sub in and excel at the different situations that they're best in. Like some guys who are best at dropping in coverage, covering in cover two, or covering slots or curl routes, or running backs out of the backfield in man coverage. Whatever it is, we're going to put them guys in position to do that and do what they're best at on the field, rather than having them do some stuff just because it's a part of the defense. And a lot of people, if you don't realize out there, defense run plays too. They have assignments also. It's just not out there, see the ball, go get the ball. Everybody has assignments where they're supposed to be, where they need to line up at. And it's kind of like you're working on a rope. Everybody's connected on defense, and you have to be in the right position to make those plays. And that's where a guy like Trevor Woods excelled at last year, helping the guys up front in front of him be in the correct spaces to make those plays. So we'll see who gets it this year, and it's going a lot of talent out there, and it's going to be combination of the playbook and the on-field play for those linebackers.
And I'll tell you this, man, in addition to that, with this depth at linebacker, their physical ability and their talent, look for them to make a lot of noise on special teams as well.
Exactly.
It's one play where you give it all you got. You might not have been in the game in this particular situation, but now you can get down the field, hit hard, make good things happen. I'm looking for some of those linebackers that you mentioned, that if they're not schematically, in downs 1 through 3, for instance, they're going to be out there on fourth down and special teams and still making some noise. So you're going to hear a lot of those names that you heard, even if though they're not in the game, first, second, or third down.
Okay. To wrap it up real quick, your Coach Prime update of the day, of the week, should I say? What's a Coach Prime update? How's he been? What's been going on with him? I saw him working out actually on the field with the guys. Oh, matter of fact, that was your post that said, yeah, they say if you go to his camp, you won't see him.
Yeah.
They say if you see him, he won't speak. They say if he speaks, he won't coach you. They wrong again about Coach Prime. That's what's posted by Uncle Neely. Break that down and tell us why you posted that.
Well, man, a lot of folks, even on the recruitment side, not just the camp side, they have this notion because Deion Sanders, the celebrity, is a celebrity, that sometimes that he's distant from his players, or you're not going to get to know him and have a relationship with him. And the thing is furthest from the truth with his players. But you also saw it in the camps that he's hosted this week. He's out there coaching these kids. He's out there critiquing at the elite camp and getting folks better. He's out there with the little kids, instructing them. So this dude is a hands-on leader, a hands-on CEO. He knows how to delegate and let people do what they're in charge of. But please don't think that he's up in some ivory tower and you can't talk to him, don't see him. He's a man amongst the people. He was out there with the kids and their families, and he was out there in the grass, and he was coaching and showing people how to backpedal and, what it means to get on top of a route and all those kind of things. So just wanted to point it out to people out there, particularly naysayers. Deion Sanders is involved. You see him, you hear him, you feel his presence. And the camps this week have been phenomenal. There were scholarship offers from the elite camp, the youth camps, man, over 2 days. I'm talking, 700 kids a day out there. It's just been a great presence, this year with his camps on campus. And he is heavily involved and directly involved in the coaching and teaching.
Bam. That's what it is, guys. Wednesdays with Warren just dropped. Review on that. Tell us about what we will see in there, or if anybody has watched it already, can you give us a summary of what happened on Wednesdays with Warren?
Well, man, we're going to always talk, what's happening, in Colorado football, much like you and I do, uh, bringing his Hall of Fame intellect and his experiences to the table. Also, we're going to talk a little basketball. We talk Celtics and
Oh
Mavs.
yeah.
It's a good weekly series, man, for folks to get to know Warren Sapp. You think you know him, but you have no idea. As Warren always says, you're going to hear me before you see me. His personality is loud. His voice is loud and booming. Go check out Wednesdays with Warren. It drops every Wednesday on the Pregame Show Network. It's been fun doing it with him, and we're not going to miss a Wednesday. It's going to be there.
All right, that's what it is. Y'all stay tuned. We're not gonna miss a week. Y'all stay here and watch us also. Unk and Chico, we here and we coming in throughout this summer.
Go win nowhere. Are we allowed to
Take
still
that.
see Diddy songs, and we can't do Diddy songs, man?
Dang, I just thought about that too, man. But I did watch the old Diddy and Mace video the other day. That song. No. What was the one? Can't nobody take my pride. That right. They can't hold me down. I just watched that the other day, man. I was like, yo. Hey, Diddy and Mace had it on lock, man.
As a man who loves women and as a father of daughters, Puffy was dead ass wrong for what went down that hotel. Having said that, hey man, when him and Mace was there, they were dropping some hits now, Chico.
Oh my gosh, they were killing it. So it's just crazy that they broke up the way they did. But hey, man, I think Mace might have saw something the way he saw it, and that's why he went and took the route that he took.
I love the Shadur, but we can't forget that Puffy to put the roller side to side.
Way back then, put your rolling side to side, put your rolling up high, wave from side to side. That's right. Yeah, man. So prayers out to the man. I don't know what happened other than what we saw on video, which was crazy, as you said. But if all the other allegations, I don't know. You know what I mean? But hey, like you said earlier, though, at the end of the day, it's still no Diddy, dog. No Diddy. All right, we're going to end it on that, man. Unk Chico, we're going to be up and about here. Y'all know what to do, man. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. All the other good stuff we're going to keep coming. We know it's new, so you got to get used to it, but we're going to keep bringing it to you, all right? Up and about this thing. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah. You already know what it is. Unk and Chico, the best tag team on the internet, going live right now. Email us today to become an advertiser or presenting sponsor of Unk and Chico. Let's go.